Hello everyone and welcome to another video here on the Cycling Day in Extra channel, and today we're going to look at the national championships of Colombia, in particular the road race. And this was very interesting as we had the narrative of Egan Bernal having won the time trial championships for the second time in his career. And the road race itself didn't have too many strong riders from the World Tour. No Nairo Quintana, but there was a Aina Rubio, there was a Hero Tejada, and a few others who had been on the World Tour before. And Egan Bernal had the help of his teammate from Ineos Grenadiers, of Brendan Rivera. The course was a circuit totaling 237 kilometers with a climb in there of 2.3 kilometers, averaging 8.1%. But nonetheless, as we joined the race with 57 kilometers to go, it was a very tetchy affair. There was a lot of attacks going on, but Ineos Grenadiers quickly shut them down with Brendan Rivera. And they looked around, but before long, Brendan Rivera was thrown into a break to try and keep control over some of the Conti teams. That seemed to work, but there was still a lot of attacking going on and the situation wasn't completely controlled. Rivera had a very busy day as he even was on domestique duties as well, getting bottles for Egan Bernal, the big star, the one that everyone wanted to win the race, win the national road race for the first time. But Nubank had a different agenda and they sent a man up the road. This once again instilled Brendan Rivera to get to the front and really truncate down the group into a very select few, and Egan Bernal third wheel. They quickly got control of the situation and brought back the Nubank rider, and even a cheeky smile from Egan Bernal and Rivera as they were discussing what was happening. But that calm was very shortly over as a rider attacked from the Medellin team, the Continental team, and he really put in a big effort here, the rider, and really got some big distance on the descent, getting a huge gap. And when we looked who it actually was, it was none other than former World Tour rider of Diego Camargo, who used to ride for EF Education Easy Post for a few seasons and now had his home at Medellin, and he was making sure to try and force the Ineos Grenadiers riders to get to the front. And here we saw it was man of the day, Rivera, who's getting to the front to control everything and try and reduce the gap down with 33.4 kilometers to go. We could really see the damage being done towards the back of the field, and Egan Bernal was looking very strong with the number one. But it was a very hot day, and at the front we could see that Camargo was getting a bit of cooling from the fans. Rivera really started to up the tempo behind, and in front we could see that Camargo was even getting the attention of some of the more peculiar fans on the road. And then came the sight that we were all waiting for. Rivera out the back, job done. Really good work by him. And now Egan Bernal was really putting his own authority on the race, really putting the power down, trying to whittle down this group. And even the motorbikes couldn't keep up with the pace that was being put on by Egan Bernal. Before long, Egan Bernal could see Camargo once again. Egan Bernal made the catch with 32.2 kilometers from the finishing line, and now they were going to be a duo. Egan Bernal wasted no time and got to the front, and it wasn't sure how much work Diego Camargo was going to do. Behind, there was a select few riders remaining, including Rubio, who were trying to get some kind of a cohesive chase, but it didn't really seem to do much damage compared to the front two, where Egan Bernal was still taking the lion's share of the work. With 24 kilometers from the finish, the pair had built up a lead of 34 seconds to that trio behind, and Egan Bernal was really pushing on at every opportunity. And before long, they were getting towards the finishing line. They had one more lap left. Diego Camargo was doing a lot of work despite having been out there before. The group behind was starting to really miss the turns and communication was breaking down. And Camargo was really working a lot here. But when they got to the descent here, this is where Egan Bernal really started to eke out some advantage for them. He was doing his best Super Tuck impersonation, and Egan Bernal even making Camargo get to the front on the descent here. The trio behind weren't able to make any inroads, and with 14.7 kilometers to go, there was 1 minute and 7 seconds up to Egan Bernal and Camargo. Behind, even Rivera was able to do his own work in the third group, as it seemed like the victory might be on the cards here. And Egan Bernal up front was still pushing on with Camargo behind him on the wheel, and the trio were just not able to make any inroads. Over a minute of a deficit now to the front two. Then came the moment, Egan Bernal, he was starting to look more menacing, and then the moment came, Egan Bernal putting the power down, Diego Camargo pedaling squares, and before long, the former Giro Tour winner was absolutely miles ahead of the former World Tour rider, unfortunately. Egan Bernal really just keeping a very steady tempo, and behind we could see Camargo was all over the place on the bike. Egan Bernal was even getting some cool down as well from the fans on the side of the road many times, and here this part of the road was where many fans were. Camargo was absolutely pedaling squares, and then Egan Bernal had a bit of a touchy moment as the motorbike in front of him wasn't able to go through because of the amount of fans out to see Egan Bernal. The motorbike had to slow down and slowed down Egan Bernal here, and that was a very dangerous moment. But the camera bike managed to get the people away, and then Egan Bernal was ready to go again. And pay attention to this fan here, because he got a bit too excited seeing his hero patter him on the back, and then Egan Bernal looked at him, and before long the boy understood that this was serious. Behind we could see that still Diego Camargo 44 seconds away now with 6.5 kilometers to go. That was it. Egan Bernal knew the victory was there. He even talked to check what the distance was, but with less than 5 kilometers, almost a 1 minute gap despite the speed bump as well. And behind, Camargo was in his own problems with motorbikes, as there was one of the lap riders, and the lap rider almost collided with the motorbike trying to get Camargo through. Egan Bernal could taste the victory with less than 3 kilometers, and Camargo couldn't even see Egan Bernal at this point, unfortunately for him. Egan Bernal was sensing the victory. The double was in the bag. The first time in his career, he was back. The pride of Colombia, the best rider in their history, was now going to don the Colombian national jersey, not just in the time trial, but also on the road. Absolutely remarkable, and this really does show, is Egan Bernal back? He's shown some good form here in the 2 races, in the time trial and now in the road race as well. And the spirits are really high after that injury that he sustained many years ago. And maybe the comeback is now. Fitting that the crash happened in Colombia, and now he takes his first victories since that crash as well. But Egan Bernal 2025, that's going to be very exciting. And that's basically it for this video. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what you thought of this victory as well. Is this Egan Bernal turning the page? And if you haven't already, why not check out this video where I go through the rise and fall of Egan Bernal, and this is really the rise again. But for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you around.